could be the division's best. Titleists Chris John and Jorge Linares.
Jason Litzau fought in the streets of his native St. Paul, Minnesota before getting into boxing when he was 10. Tough upbringing, won 180 amateur fights, including a silver medal in the U.S. Nationals. He turned pro 4 years ago. Litzau's aggressive style makes for highly entertaining fights, as we've talked about. He refuses usually to play safe, has gotten off the canvas, as Steve mentioned, to win, and suffered his only loss when he was knocked out 14 months ago. Since then, he's won 3 straight, most recently going 10 rounds last November. A significant change for him tonight is he's got Buddy McGirt working his corner for the first time. 24-year-old Jason Litzau, 23-1, 19 KOs. What's behind the numbers, Steve?
Well, lefty practice for Litzau, Nick. He's faced only one southpaw in 24 pro bouts. But I'll tell you this, sparring for this fight with James McGirt Jr. and Zaku Powell, ideal preparation. Going long. If Litzau chooses to box more than bomb away, well, he's well suited to go the distance. In fact, he's been 10 or more often than Guerrero has. And good timing. Litzau's fought regularly. He's always on weight. And he's come back well from his sole defeat. So this live underdog is primed for an exceptional effort, Nick.
This is his shot. A special Showbox main event when Robert Guerrero defends his IBF featherweight title against Jason Litzau. Back to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you and welcome to the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino in Lemoore, California for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Goose and Tudor Promotions in association with Main Events, the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, the President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor David McCullough. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside, all from California: Lou Filippo, Denny Nelson, and Marcos Rosales. And the referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, David Mendoza. All right, fans, here we go with the Showbox main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue trunks. He weighed in at a ready 125 pounds. With a record of 23 wins and 1 defeat, he has 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from St. Paul, Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen, here is the IBF number 9 featherweight contender. Please welcome the challenger, known as the American Boy, Jason Litzau. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing red trunks with white trim, he weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds. With a record of 21 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 1 no decision, he has 14 wins coming by way of knockout, proudly representing his hometown of Gilroy, California. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the young stars of boxing today, the 2-time and reigning IBF featherweight champion of the world, introducing Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Once again, the referee in charge, David Mendoza, now to give instructions.
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules and the fouls. Protect yourself at all times and follow my instructions. Touch gloves, go back to your corner.
Where the eyes tell the story there. When we got together with Litzau before the weigh-in yesterday, he looked like he was really struggling to make weight, but he made it with a pound to spare. Both fighters 135 at 7 a.m. this morning.
IBF Featherweight Championship on the line. The unified rules of boxing are in effect. Steve, I want to see Litzau. I think nerves might come into play early. He's got to be careful. Here comes Robert Guerrero, the southpaw. He wants to walk Jason Litzau down. Litzau moves very well. And he could box, as you mentioned. He's got good power, countering ability. But Guerrero would like to get in close and stay inside, I think.
Keep in mind, Litzau, extremely tall for a featherweight at 5'10".
And a reach, 73 inch
3-inch reach advantage, Nick. Yeah.
I think they're looking to see what Guerrero does. They got a plan A and a plan B. If Guerrero comes forward as he's doing, they need to outbox him, keep turning, punch and move, fight fast, and use that ring. We'll see. Litzau has really not thrown a punch with conviction. There he tries to snap the jab a couple of times. He's got that horrible habit of keeping that left hand low. He's out of punching range. He's doing it again. Only saving grace is Guerrero's not much of a right hooker over that left hand.
Exactly. Guerrero, he loves that straight left. He loves a left uppercut on the inside, but very few right hooks. Guerrero also boxes with a very wide stance, an exaggerated wide stance. It can make it a little harder to move. You see, amateur experienced Litzau, a lot more rounds than Guerrero. Litzau was an outstanding amateur.
I really like Guerrero's hand speed. You know, against Salido, he looked very sluggish to me, and he was getting beat to the punch at times. But he really looks as fast as Litzau. Litzau just afraid to let things go. I think he's tight, Steve, with good reason. This is an astonishing opportunity for him. Guerrero tries to end it all with that left hand as he is coming on big. And Litzau not even fighting out of the clinch. So Litzau trying to dial in, I think, emotionally in this fight. You know, we've been here since Wednesday night, and so has Litzau. We never saw him except for the win. He's really been holed up in his room.
You know, moving around and boxing off the back foot like Litzau's doing is not necessarily a bad strategy for a couple of reasons. One, hey, this is a world title fight for him. It lets him kind of, you know, get into the fight a little more slowly. But he's losing the round.
What's the other point?
Well, this is his strategy. You know, he's got the longer reach, but just because they say he should box, can he do it effectively? You know, that if it's out of character, he may not be able to do it effectively. He does it effectively in the gym, but we haven't seen him do it effectively much in the ring.
Right. You know, Guerrero is punching with him. The few times Litzau's unloaded first, Guerrero is right there with him. So Robert Guerrero, the featherweight champion, IBF featherweight champion, fighting with a lot of conviction here in the first round and dominated Jason Litzau. Again, Litzau trying to see what Guerrero's got, but he's eventually got to get Guerrero's respect. We'll see as we end the first.
Relax, baby, relax. Okay, listen. You see what he's doing?